go, you still doing that? Like if you're not selling IULs, you just aren't like you're not in the right business. What? What? But as a new agent, how the hell would you know what to be paying attention to? We're saying, hey, do this, do this. And then you go, well, the client ain't had no money. And then you get on Instagram and you see this guy with a super small shirt on saying, hey, you want to come work with us? We got IUL leads where our clients actually have money and you don't have to deal with broke people. And then you get excited. And then you think Dom and Bryce were effing with you. But then you go over there and you realize, oh shit, they were lying. Everywhere I go, it's the same shit. IULs work, final expense works, mortgage protection works. They all work. It's not like, oh, I stopped Harold Durana. $1.2 million of life insurance sold. Final expense, mortgage protection. But your marketing that you're going to see out there is acting like mortgage protection and final expense is a thing of the past. And like, I can't believe if you're still doing that, you might as well be on a horse and carriage. Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's change bank accounts and see if that works. Make sense? So what I'm telling you guys is you're going to get marketed a lot of crap. And it's going to be up to you to decide how to filter that shit out. I stayed locked the F in. There was never anything anybody could have told me because the guy who I was working with did this and I didn't give a what nobody else said. Some of you, we don't have that relationship, or some of you don't feel that way about who you work with. It is what it is. It makes sense. But that's what I was, boom, this is what we do. People are like, oh, we do mortgage protection and things like that. I was like, cool. I do final expense. They're like, aren't you tired of those small policies? I was like, no, I'm not tired of getting paid 10 grand a week. I don't know what you're talking about. What about the chargebacks? Okay, I will learn how to like keep it on the books better and like have better persistency and stuff. Like the answer isn't write a new product. The answer is be a better agent. You guys picking this up? Like this is very important to your growth in this business. Because if you're not locked in on it, because somebody's going to buy leads and they go, those didn't work. And then they're going to go, oh, I want to try the IUL leads. And you know what's going to happen? Those didn't work. And then they're going to go, and then they'll be out of the business. I'm like, if vets didn't work, IULs ain't going to work for you. It's a belief thing. Now, if you're like, I just don't believe in selling vets and but cool, whatever. I believe in IULs. Cool. Let's see if that works for you. But the reality is, we're just typically when we're changing from lead type or company to company, we're looking for easier results. But I'm here to tell you guys, each bucket that you're looking to make 10 grand a week out of is just as hard. It's the same hard. All of them. What's up, Jackson?
So when I first got in the industry, I worked at Globe Life,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, as far as you told me like hard and stuff, that being a straight captive company, and they would literally call like your buddy had just called the lead that you were like you're on Discord, and you're on the phone with the client, and the client's like, oh yeah, I spoke to so and so, and you look up and so's right in your face. They talked to him 20 minutes before, and they were like, oh, free leads, free leads, free leads, free leads, free leads. That, but the thing was all they were just circulated, 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 circulated over and over again.
Yep.
And your first week, they always gave you the they gave you the best possible leads they could, like ones that no one had ever called before. And you sold a lot of policies. And then you're like, this guy's been called from us like 300 times. I mean, like, what the hell is this? So that's what I come from. So, I mean, I know that
Yeah, dude. And that's what the vendors do too, dude. You ever like wonder, like, dude, that first batch was super good. Yeah, dude, they had to get you hooked. It's like crack cocaine in the 80s. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. I
Like
mean,
you're like, how'd that work? Yeah, they gave it to you for free and you came back. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like it's
And all the
that's what that
money
like
made
that.
there is, is off of basically they hire so many people at one time, that's how they can make money. I mean,
Correct.
they hire
And
10,000
dude, and
people
it
a
works,
week.
dude. It works. You know what I mean? Like there's people over there they're making good money. Makes sense? It's just what you got to go through. All right. But and you said one thing also. Anybody that says free leads or anything like that or the best leads, just ignore it. You know what I mean? Like we're all using the same damn platform. We all get the same stuff. All right. Recruiting. There's a lot of recruiting out there that's based around like fear of chargebacks. I think that's the funniest thing ever. Like, it's the, like, hey, you come work with us, there won't be any chargebacks. I'm like, yeah, you also won't have any upfront money either. It's like, all right, like just get paid as earned. No chargebacks with us. Yeah, that means you're getting paid as earned. Is that what you want? You show me a place that advances you and you don't have chargebacks, and I'll leave the industry. You have to know what you're hearing out there. You with me? And if you don't know, you'll just be like, oh, well, shoot, I'm paying over here. And I'm like, dude, the reason we're number one is because we're the most transparent. That's it. Like, y'all the best. Like, no, we're the most honest. So with honesty, people want to work with you. Deshaun might piss people off every day, but he's honest. So they say, I'm going to work with you. Does that make sense? Do I piss y'all off? Maybe. Does that make sense? But I'm honest. This is what it's going to take. Never like, hey, dude, you be able to, you still want to do this on the weekends and do this? No, you can't, dude. You got to shut all that shit down now. Why? Because you said you want to make 10 grand a week. Well, I don't want to make 10 grand a week. All right, cool. Well, tell me what you want to make. I want to make 5 grand a month. Cool. Dude, take all the weekends off. You can start at 9, be done by 3. Just buy enough leads, you'll be okay. Totally different story. But nobody on here is looking to make 5 grand a month. Which is why we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. All right. Anybody recruiting on, there's all this get rich quick recruiting too. You know what I mean? All the time. Like, hey, come with us. We'll get you doing this and do it. I'm like, hold on, dude. Like, it's never, everywhere you go, you're going to have to put in the work. So don't get confused out there with what's out there. I think that's what it is. I think they prey on new agents. They prey on them because they're waiting for you to do this, and then boom, and then you see that reel right when you're at the low. You're at the low, right? You're like, F this, blah, blah, blah. And then this guy comes over, hi, struggling with your life insurance sales? Come work with me. I'll give you the best system ever, and we have these leads, and deal with chargebacks, and you're just like, oh my God, God's speaking straight to me. This is amazing. I need this. And then you go over there and you suck too. So what I'm saying is just be an adult and know what you're listening to and know where you're at. A lot of y'all are laughing because y'all see this stuff, right? You're like, yeah, dude, like it's definitely out there. Like, yeah, they know most people suck. They know most people fail.
I got one right now. Someone
there you go.
Yeah. Look, I talked to somebody yesterday and I specifically asked you to just stop calling me. I am extremely happy where I am. What do I have to do to get y'all to stop calling me? Please.
Bro, the reason the recruiting
That's what she said yesterday too, though. Yeah. She apologized as well.
The recruiting's so rabid because most people don't win. You know what I mean? Because they don't lock in. And the reason people don't lock in is because they got all this stuff. It's like, honestly, like we could have done this a while ago. I think like during our calls and my onboardings, I need to be a little bit more open with what's out there, Bryce, as I'm talking to people, because it's like, dude, you'd be surprised. You may have lost some agents because we didn't educate them on this.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense? You'd be like, where'd they go? Oh, dude, they freaking left and went over here because they said they didn't have chargebacks, but then they didn't really know what that meant. And now they're over there stuck at a 40% comp with no damn advances. Just ask us. We'll tell you the truth. Promise you. And there's not going to be any spin on it to make you feel like you should stay here. Like, it don't really matter.
Well, because
I mean, we're going to hit
the way I always looked at it is there's something for everybody. You know what I mean? Like at each of those other places, there's people there that are really happy and making good money, and it's all good. You know what I mean? So it just depends on what you're looking for. Like if you're looking to speak with people that actually filled out forms, you know what I mean? Then this is a better fit than if you're cool with calling people that are just on a list because they're part of some union. You know what I mean? And so like if you don't really want to like work and have, marketing expenses to grow your business to be able to make 20,000 a month, if that's not what you're looking to do, then you're going to hate this. Like this is going to be, you're going to hate being on these calls. Like the way that we talk about this is not going to be fun if you'd rather just help out some friends and family here and there with insurance. There's a lot of other companies that are perfect for that. You know what I mean? And so
Right.
like there's definitely a an approach to the business that we have that is a good fit for people looking to do a certain thing, and other companies are a better fit for different approaches. You know what I mean? So it's to each his own.
Big stuff there. Any questions about any of that? And Bryce, if you have any input as well, or any agents who have dealt with it or seen it, you know, I've had agents who left our company and came back because of stuff like this. Michael File is one of them. Michael File was at Family First Life, left Family First Life because he thought the grass was greener on the other side, and then came back and said, "Yo, y'all, we're in the best place ever. Don't ever. That was a bad move." Makes sense, but you don't know until you find out sometimes. Hmm. All right. Anything else there? No questions at all? Cold calling is
Well, so
terrible.
Dom, like, why do you
Yeah.
like, what do you think those reasons would be? Like, you mentioned chargebacks,
Yeah.
um, leads. What about comp?
Comp? You mean to get recruited away?
Yeah, like let's say,
Like,
we know we're
yes,
very clear. Everybody starts at an 80. You know what I mean?
yes.
So if you're seeing something that says we start this, like, what I guess let's talk about
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
why
Because
our
you
comp
may
chart is the
see,
way it is.
correct. You're going to see other companies that will say, "Hey, we'll start you at 100, 110, never over a 120." Like I haven't seen a 120 out there, okay? But I've seen 110. And if any of you guys were like, "Hey, F them, I want to go get a 110," you go get a 110. You could. For real, you could go get it, right? But you'll be by yourself. You'd be by yourself. You'd have no CRM center, you'd have no ILC, you'd have no trainings, you'd have no support, and you'd have nobody to have your back when you make a mistake, which is way more important. Makes sense? Like I'm just being real. Like if you'll be a lone wolf out there, you'll be a lone wolf. And if that's you, that's you. Right? Then also there's no upside to build your business either. You can't build an agency.
Right.
So they give you the comp and they say we're going to keep all the overrides. So you can have the 110, but if you hire people, they're going to come directly to our company, not yours. Make sense? So although you may be able to start higher, where else can you go? And what support you got? Versus I start at an 80 with all the support, all the leads, okay? And I can work myself up every 2 months, 5%. Within 6 months, I should be at 100% comp. Within a year, I should be at a 110, maybe 120 because I'm building a team. And if anybody's here more than a year and they're not at a 110 or 120, shame on you. Makes sense? And if a year of working your butt off and getting there wasn't worth it, then dude, just take your 110. Does that make sense? Like you got to see it for more than what am I starting at? You can start at a 110 and stay at a 110 forever with no support, or start at an 80 with crazy support and work your way up to a 145 and build a massive asset agency. Yeah, I guess that's the best way I can articulate it because there is short term. You see short term shit, but you don't see down the road how bad of a decision that was. And that's what Mike did. That's why Mike left. Mike left because he got higher comp. He got higher comp and realized, damn, higher comp with no support and no Sean Mike is like being out of 20%. You want Sean Mike on your back, you guys. Just so y'all know, you want Sean Mike in your upline, in your hierarchy. It helps you a lot. It's always helped me a lot. I couldn't imagine having somebody else's name in my hierarchy. Couldn't. You know what I mean? And it helps you so much. So I guess the best explanation I can give for the comp thing, but I get the short-sightedness of it. All right, but you got to see the long play. Which
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that they're, chasing higher starting comp is just a recipe for I just want to sell forever, not build a team, and I'm cool with just kind of like locking myself in a corner and just selling. And again, if that, like I said earlier,
There's
there's a
something for
place for
everybody.
that, and it's all good. It's all good. You know what I mean? But the way that our comp structured now, like anybody that is selling consistently and has a team, they will all tell you ever since our comp has gone the way it is, they've all been more profitable than ever. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. Because previously, when it was the wild, wild west of comp, people with massive teams would be not profitable. Like people doing 500,000 a month would not be profitable. And it's like you put in all that work to support all these agents and recruit a big team, and you're not really making a ton for, you're not getting paid what it's worth to do that. You know what I mean? And so, like, again, if somebody just wants to sell forever, like all good, you know what I mean? But if you have any desire of creating a business and wealth and passive income, you want to be profitable along the way. And so that's what our comp chart is geared towards, to allow you to not only create an extremely solid income from selling and helping families, but to also, be extremely profitable while you're building a team and supporting other people doing the same along the way.
Hey Bryce, I was thinking like you're talking about like agents have been more profitable. Like the last 2 years have been the most profitable personal years for me.
Me too.
Right. And then, but not team overall volume, but just money in the bank. And I start thinking about oh shoot. What were you just talking about?
Profitability, like our comp chart is structured so you can be profitable while you build a business.
So it was the comp. All right. So over the last 2 years, the comp, not starting folks at 90, 100, 120. Okay. We've had better retention. We've had better profitability per agent because, and this is crazy to think, right? When you just get into business, the comps are the way they are, not because like anybody's better than anybody. It's because your comp actually is going to reflect your ability to handle the advances.
Man,
I've seen people who couldn't handle the advances. It was too much for them. Best thing for me, I was at a 50% comp. I made enough to do my thing, but I was also hungry enough to keep working. If I would have been at 110% comp when I started at 24 years old, I would have done so much math and been like, bro, I just need to write 2 policies a month. I need to write 2 policies. I could do this, then I'm just chilling. Versus earning that comp. And once you get to that comp, you start to understand the value of it. You understand the chargebacks that come with it. You're like, I want a higher comp. Yeah, the chargeback's bigger too, right? And if you're bad with money and chargebacks are a fear of yours, you're more apt to probably spend the money on things that you're not going to get a return on. So would you rather have a lower comp and deal with that or a higher comp and deal with that? Make sense? Like, dude, we kind of threw it off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing people start to earn it and see it more and once you got to that 80%, you start to realize, I was at a 55 when I started. So 80% was like, dude, I want to get to an 80. And then 110 was the top. The highest I got at my other company was 90%. It took me 2 years, two and a half years to get there. And they had a whole bunch of circles and stuff you had to get. It was crazy. It had to look a certain way. Over here, it's just do the volume, fool. That's it.
I'm pretty sure that
just do the volume. Like you don't need to hire 13 people or have one not be your cousin. Like we don't give a damn. They could all be family. Or y'all all live in the same damn house. We don't care. Does that make sense? Like just make sure you have the volume there. I missed out on a comp raise at the other company because I didn't have what they called a unique rider, which is just how many riders did you have for the month. I needed a rider that was direct to Timmy Tom, but the Timmy Tom didn't have that rider, so I didn't get the raise. I said, this is the dumbest thing ever. Then we quit and started Family First Life. All right. And we said, you know what? We're only going to give raises based on volume. That's it. There's people at 120s with 4 people on their team. They got 4 people doing 50 grand a month. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that hard at all to get to where you want to get to. All right. So that's big stuff. So I got lead vendors, carriers, recruiting, IUL, final expense, mortgage. Any questions at all about any of that? No? All right. Let me ask somebody a question. Kachina, what's been the most surprising thing for you since you started?
The most surprising thing, I guess, all of the support that's available. You're an independent broker, but you still feel like part of a huge team because there's lots of training tools in place and to help you get off on a good start. Yes. And plenty of help out there. You just reach out and get it. It's lots of help and support. Yeah.
So support and surprise. Is that something you were seeking? Is that something you were looking for?
Yes, absolutely. I come from the corporate world, so I'm used to having that support there, and it is scary coming branching off on your own, trying to do something because I'm from the health industry and I'm switching over to life insurance, so this is all new to me. So support is huge. Yes, that's
Big. That's big.
mhm.
I was surprised by the support as well when I got into this. Yeah,
Me too.
a lot of. Who else? Let me see. Anel, you've been writing some business, right?
I'm growing one lately.
Okay. What's been the most surprising thing for you?
Just like how she said the support and previous, I was in this other agency with Family First Life, and it was so different from what you guys do. They basically tell you just do it on your own in a way, and they just give you this small script, and it doesn't have the objections that you can come back, like for the comeback.
Right.
And yeah, I think I really am grateful that I moved over here because you guys really do help and have all these meetings, and I can just text anyone and they'll answer real quick.
Right on. Right on. Well, I'm happy to have you, Anel. All right. And Katrina. I was in Cancun last week. They did a trip, top producer trip. All right. It was like 250K, get you in the door. The more you sell, the bigger your room. All right. So to let y'all know, I didn't have the biggest room. Okay. There were big ass rooms that people got. And I was like, damn, dude. Like ask Marisa and Rami about their room and where they stayed. Ask them. Just ask them. All right. Don't ask me. I stayed in a normal room with two double beds. No, I'm just but we were there and I got to meet some of the newer, I met a lot of newer agents. Met a guy who was part-time, works 4 days a week. Okay? And he was on stage with Sean and he was just so excited because like he ended up being like number 17 in the company in IULs year to date. And he was like, dude, I don't even run IUL leads. I run vet leads. You know what I mean? But he's number 17 in the company. And Sean brings him up on stage and goes, dude, what about you? Like, why do you think people like buy insurance from you? He goes, I just talk to him like I'm a human. And I know that may sound like that's it, or like, what did he mean by that? Or like, huh? But a lot of us, and we're going to take a little time on this right here. You call people not like a human. You call them like whoever you think insurance man or woman is. Take a break for there. Let's think about that. He says, I just call him like me. Like I'm like just call him like me. When I started first calling people, Kachina, I called them like, hi, this is Kachina there? Hi, this is Dom. And yeah, I'm just getting back to you about the mortgage protection. Like, I just wanted to see if you were still like, and then Sean, I'm gonna give you the best story ever. Okay. Just to let you know, be you. Okay. I was in the house. I called Sean up. I said, hey, what's up, Sean? I'm in a house right now. Can I get some help? He goes, yeah. I go, all right. So I'm here with Ricky and Rebecca, and they're looking for mortgage protection. And I just wanted to see what they qualified for. Their budget is a little low, and Sean goes, yo, 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 yo. Am I on speakerphone? I go, no. He goes, good. Why in the F are you talking like that? I go, what you mean? Like, I don't say what you mean. I say, well, what do you mean? Because I'm still in front of the people, right? I'm still me. I'm still insurance guy. You know what I'm saying? That's me. So he's like, why are you talking like that? I go, what do you mean? He goes, dude, you sound like you're a white guy from Minnesota. What's your problem? Last time I checked, you're 24, African-American from California. What the hell's your problem? Why are you talking like that? He goes, I know you're full of shit. They know you're full of shit. You ain't going to sell shit, and hung up. The realest information I could have ever gotten in my life. That changed my life. He could have let me, he could have been like, I'm this white dude from Connecticut. What do I look like telling him how to talk? See, where most people are afraid to offend, he wants to help. He helped me more than ever, Art. Because in my mind, I thought I was being a human. Nah, bro, you being a robot. You being Point Dexter. And everybody knows that's not you, Dom. What are you talking about? Stop it. He goes, stop it. Art, I called him for underwriting, Art. Art, I didn't even get my question. Do y'all feel what I'm putting down right now? Like, I didn't even get my question out, and he fixed me. So I could make a whole hour podcast about that shit. That shit is hilarious, okay? But it had to happen. So are you sounding like who you think insurance agent sounds? Or are you sounding like you on the phone? How do you know? Record yourself. Art, you'll barf. You'll hear it and go, golly, what the hell? That ain't me. That ain't even how I sound. Chris, real natural. Chris sounds the way he sounds. I like Chris. Chris on the phone, Chris didn't have that. It seemed like he already kicked that from another place that he was at. But for all of us who this is your first sales job like me, ooh, I came in here real hoity-toity, okay? Y'all know what that means? Oh, but dude, be you is what I'm trying to say. So when he says be human, be you. Use the words in the script and things like that, dude, but come on. You know when you're faking it, and so do your clients. You got anything to say to that, Bryce? I know it's a personal
Well, I mean, I think that's like, that's why it's so important to be so comfortable with the script so you can say it in the way that you would say it and be yourself. So you're not like trying to be something. You know what I mean? We like when we read, like when I read to my son, I try to be something. You know what I mean? And then when I'm just talking, it's just me. You know what I mean? And so that's why it's so important to just know the script so you're just having a conversation. But I did the same thing. I had to adjust because I came from selling to CEOs and corporate sales. So I had to adjust to, speaking with just blue collar, regular Americans in their homes. So it was a big adjustment for me, not, trying to, schmooze them and overbuild rapport and become best friends with them and do all this stuff. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I struggled with my first couple weeks or so. And then, I'm grateful for people like you that, had me kind of run through some things like, dude, you got to stop talking to them like that.
Right.
Like, just pretend that, I don't know if it was you or somebody told me, it's like, pretend you're talking to like your uncle's friend at a barbecue. And I don't know why that very like specific analogy just like clicked for me. I'm like, oh yeah, when I'm just like talking to, folks older than me at like a family event, I'm just talking with them. And that's how I kind of started viewing my clients. And it just made it, a lot easier for me to just be myself.
Right. So it's like you may have grown up with like crazy respect for older people, right? Like if you grew up military or you had that type, like, you know what I mean? Or maybe just your parents was just like, yo, that type of language or that type of respect you have for them is going to hurt you in our sales process. It's going to hurt you. Because you'd be like, I'm not going to talk over that old person. My grandma would have slapped me in the face. I know she would have, but that's not your grandma, and that's not what's going on right now. Does that make sense?
Right.
I hear you. But you waiting for Joanne to get out all this minutia ain't going to help you, Katrina. You got to cut her off and get going. That's disrespectful. No, what's disrespectful is them not buying insurance and I bought this damn lead. That's disrespectful. I don't think what I'm doing is disrespectful at all, not one bit. Okay? But you filled out a form, sent it to me, and have what? Yeah, I'm gonna call the insurance commissioner on you. That's how I feel about it. You know?
Hey, Dom,
yeah,
I'm gonna speak from experience on this because I remember you and I had a conversation like my first month in, but I came from corporate where everything was freaking monitored. Matter of fact, when you're on a phone call with somebody, they can actually chime into that phone call and listen in, like while you're on the phone call. So I had to watch what I say. Not that I was like talking shit to people, but I was just like, you got to be like straightforward. So when you and I, Dom, you and I talked, and I'm like, you're like, I can tell these people, like, I mean, obviously not going to tell them to F off, but I mean, you can tell them, be real with them. And I'm like, we can. And I'm like, okay. And so, I mean, that made like a huge difference in everything for me.
You know what I remember it was, Jason? I think it was, I was like, dude, tell them to never fill out these forms again.
Yeah.
Okay. If they're not interested, like, dude, just tell them never do it again. He was like, dude, I can't say that. I was like, yes, you can. He goes, really? Like, then you explained all that to me of what they did to you. I was like, yeah, I get, like, over there, like, yeah, they probably fire you for saying that. But over here, you can definitely say that. You're independent. Why? You bought the lead. Over there, SelectQuote bought the lead for you. You got to respect the lead that they bought for you. Make sense? Here, you bought the lead. Stop filling out these damn leads if you ain't going to buy insurance. Well, I can fill out whatever I want. Yeah, and I can tell whoever I want not to fill them out again. So keep filling them out. I'm going to keep telling you not to.
Yeah, that wouldn't have flew over at SelectQuote, but you know what?
Hang up, and you'll be like, you get in trouble for that? No, not at all. You know what I did? I felt good about it. That made me feel better. Shit. Like, I'm telling you, you got to feel good about yourself making calls. And whatever you need to say within reason that's going to make you feel better about making that damn call, say it. And I promise you it's not going to be anywhere near offensive. Because I know a lot of you. It would have already came out. Right? A lot of you are at like 2 or 3 on your offensive level, and you can get to like 6 or 7 and people still not get offended. Okay? Like, there's some people who are at a 7 or 8 already. We got to tone them back. I'm like, bro, you're already too much. Just stay right there. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's at different spots of where they are.
You know, a lot of people that you talk like that to, you end up making the sale, and you're like, wait a second. It's almost like we're not being disrespectful by any means, but that assertiveness and just being like, hey, look, I'm not freaking jacking around. Okay, let's get this done. And it's like they respond to it. They respond to it.
Yeah. Like, hey man, I don't really have to like do this today. I'm not gonna. Hey, you guys put this in your bag. All right. I got this directly from Sean Mike. Okay, directly. Tell clients when they think that they're doing you a favor or some shit like that, or they're that kind of playing around or delaying the close. Right? They're delaying the close. So, hey Bryce, dude, whether you get this insurance today or not, dude, I'm not gonna like run up the street naked, excited, like because I paid my mortgage or my rent, and I'm not gonna kill myself and want to quit the industry. So just make a decision what you want to do today. Oh my God, that statement got people to make a decision. Because now they're going like, damn, this guy basically just told me that he don't give a shit whether I buy it or not, but like he got stuff to do. So like make a decision. Versus, well, like what, you know what I mean? All this extra talk is for what? Like, let's just get down to it. All right. I'm not going to run through the streets naked if you buy it, and I ain't going to kill myself if you don't. Make a decision. Levels the playing field. All right.
Something that's helped me a lot too is like something that I say, like when they were starting to think about it, it's like, look, you're 82 years old. Like, what are you doing? How much longer are you going to wait? Like saying something like that, like, then they're like, okay, yeah. But I mean, if I said that shit anywhere else, it's like, oh, I get a complaint.
All
but
right.
yeah.
Check this out. I got some like one-liners coming to my head right now, dude. So like, here we go. Fourth quarter. Anybody use that? You guys deal with people 70 plus years old? Okay. 70 plus years old. You're in the fourth quarter. Okay. So if they're not making a decision, they're in between. Instead of you trying to razzle dazzle them with all this other stuff or changing the premium and all this type of stuff, just say, hey, Bryce, with all due respect, can I be honest with you?
Yep.
You got to ask for permission. Okay? Do this. with all due respect, but can I ask you for permission to tell you the truth?
Yep.
Okay. Would me and you both agree you're in the fourth quarter of life?
Yeah.
All right, and unequivocally, right? You're not in the second. You're not like just barely in the. You're in the third quarter, right? Are you really trying to push this thing into overtime with no life insurance? Silence. You know what I mean? Things like that will get people to think. I got that from Matt Smith. None of this is original. Nothing. I don't think I've created anything. You know what I mean? That's Matt Smith, fourth quarter. I don't know if we're at the beginning, middle, or the end of fourth quarter. But are you trying to take it to overtime with no life insurance? It gets people to think versus going, well, what if you die today? Dude, that doesn't work. Just so y'all know. That whole what if you like that doesn't work. You know, earlier in the statement, hey, you died yesterday, what does it look like? That helps you build value. But those statements don't help you close. Stop using those rudimentary, elementary ass freaking ways to get people to close. Well, don't you care about your family? God, you and every other agent who don't sell nothing. Make sense? We got to get down to the real stuff of why. Not that. So be a human. Be a human. Be relatable. Be you. No. A lot of us have things that we'll say like after the call's done. I give you permission to say them while you're on the call. You know, you'd be like, damn, I should have said this. I should have said that. I know you should have. Why didn't you? Yeah, they told me that they was like earlier today, the person was in the shower, right? So I heard somebody call somebody, they was in the shower. They said, oh, I'm busy. I'm in the shower. I said, damn, I would have been like, yo, like you in the shower, you picked it up. Like you about to get electrocuted. What the hell are you doing? Like you pick up numbers you don't know? Basically called her out and she wasn't in no damn shower. You know, in the history of me selling insurance, nobody's ever picked up an unknown number in the shower. But we just can't see the forest through the weeds sometimes, so we just act like it's real. I'm like, that's not real. I saw a flying whale. That's not real. But they said it. Well, shit, dude.
A good rule of thumb is if you're thinking it, it's probably the right thing to say.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And they're going to respect that. They're going to respect that you're not playing games and you're keeping it real and that you're not the one that they can play around with. Because again, a lot of our clients are habitual form filler outers and are 78 without insurance because they played around with everybody that's tried to sell them something forever. And so at some point, somebody's going to be the one to put an end to it. That's the posture that works with our client base. Is just being all the way real and let them know you're not the one. You're not the one to play with.
Dom, that's like the one I told you the other day when the guy said, what part of I told you it's not a good time did you not understand? And I said, the part where you answered the phone.
Boom.
And then me and him both started laughing.
6 months ago,
I wouldn't have said that.
You know what I mean? What part of the part where you picked up the phone, my man? Like, grab a pen. Quit playing.
Right.
Oh, okay. Got you. All right. Dude, I'm telling you, when you take control, and this is valuable, we're selling life insurance. You guys understand we sell something that people don't want to use? They don't want to use it, but 100% unequivocally they will. What else do folks sell that's 100% of the time going to work? We got to act like it though. See, some of these things, like you're like, oh, you say that, but when you really take a step back and go, yeah, dude, we're talking about them losing the house or them like not being able to go to their dad's burial because they live in New York and they can't afford flights back to California. Would you like to miss your parents' funeral because you couldn't afford the flight to go? No. But if we're not seeing it that way, if we're just seeing it as we're selling something and we're looking to get paid something, it ain't going to work. You got to be so in love with the product. Now, how do you get in love with the product? You find testimonials. You don't fall in love with the product by freaking looking at product guides and, oh my God, Americo's IUL has a 7%. I'm so excited about that. No, you're not. Don't lie to yourself, okay? We're excited to sell life insurance when we know what it does for people. Bryce came into this business stronger for what he has went through in his life. And that helped him sell life insurance. You with me? There's things in your life, there's people in your life who have been affected positively and negatively with life insurance, and you got a license and you haven't talked to them about it. Ain't that something? I know everybody here dealt with a death within the last 2 or 3 years, whether first person or know somebody who dealt with it and you got their phone number. But you don't know if they had life insurance or not. You don't know what it was like when they went through it. But you want to call strangers and try to build value with them? How are you going to do that? You've never experienced it. I never experienced it like Bryce has firsthand. So I had to reach out to people and find out, what is this? How does this work? Why does it even matter to have life insurance? Who's had it and seen the benefits of it? Who's used the living benefits? Who's been out on disability? And does that make sense? So I implore all of you to start calling your friends and family, not to sell them insurance, but ask them these questions. What have you dealt with? What did that look like? Man, yeah, my dad had insurance, man, kept my mom in the home. Dude, I would have never went to college without that. That's a great story to bring to people during your presentation. You know, my good friend Art lost his dad, but man, his dad had insurance. He was able to keep the house. And dude, I couldn't imagine him not having that. Because if he wouldn't have had that, he would have had to move with his grandma in Chicago, and I would have never met Art. I'm so thankful his dad had life insurance. He was able to stay in our neighborhood. You think that person's going to sell more insurance, or the person who doesn't inquire with none? Come on, does that make sense? That person's going to crush it. That person sees the end result of life insurance, not just the commissions and the leads and the flexibility of the time. You got to see death. You got to see the good and bad sides of death to be good at this business. I want to give you guys all some homework to do that. And tomorrow, I want to come to this meeting, or actually, you got 2 days. This is a good day to do it. Thursday, we're going to come to this meeting, and after affirmations, we're going to get into, what did you learn about the people you know as it pertains to their history with being affected by life insurance? Can we do that? Over the next 24 to 48 hours, educate ourselves on what people have been affected and what that looked like. And there ain't no way in hell you won't come into this thing with a better understanding of why you're doing this. Of why you're doing this. Because if the why was just the money, okay, we got to change that. It's cool. I get the money piece, but we got to get a little deeper if you want to keep making the money. All good?
People will talk to you about it too, especially when you preface it like, hey, I'm getting into this industry. I'm going to be talking with people about this. I just want to know what like a real life experience is. You know, I asked my mom, what did it look like? Exactly what happened. What did it look like? What did he have? What did he not have? You know what I mean? What did it cost? And that helped me a ton in being able to use real life scenarios. So find.
Bryce, would you mind telling us your story?
Yeah, I mean, my dad passed in 2019, a year before I started this business. And I wasn't super involved in everything. But after the fact, when I started this, like I asked my mom, like, what did he have for life insurance? He didn't have any. He was a state employee, so there was like a $10,000, state plan that went to him, which obviously helped. And so he was cremated. We had a service. He was a law enforcement officer, so there was a ton of the community all wanted to come, so it was a pretty big service. So like everything all in, it was like a little over $8,000 just for like the immediate stuff. So every time I talk with clients, I share like the exact, well, this is what it looked like for us. You know what I mean? And so having like a real life scenario of something that I personally was involved with, it hits home a lot more, and it makes what we talk about way more real to clients.
Thank you for sharing. Does anybody in our last minute here? Does anybody have anything that they want to say? Who has been affected
I
by
got
life
one.
insurance?
I got one,
Yeah.
and it's. I was just talking to my friend the other day, and his grandfather passed away, and he had a bunch of money. He had accounts set up, a trust and everything, but the bank is playing and telling them they need this paper, they need this paper, so they haven't been able to get access to his money right away, and they still got the mortgage and different bills that need to be paid. Even though you'll talk to a lot of clients who say, "Oh, I already got enough money saved in my accounts,"
Right.
and they think that they just have access to that money right away. And he was just like, "Oh, I get why people get insurance now." He was like, "I didn't get it at first." He's like, "I get it because you never know when you're going to get access to that money, if you're going to get it right away, or if they're going to tell you, oh, you need this paperwork, you need this," and they're just making them go through a bunch of loopholes, even though he already has a trust and everything set up for them to get what's owed to them.
Man. So what that helps
Huge.
you now when people start like
I tell that story. I've told it to a couple
big.
people.
So big, man. Because they will think, oh, I just got money. Yeah, I hear you, dude. But what about that window of time?
Mm-hmm.
Tax-free, immediate payout. That's the beauty of life insurance.
So I got something kind of on the other end where life insurance would have been necessary. So my dad's a businessman. He has his own business. He builds docks. He has a marine construction business. And my grandfather started it in 1980. And so he ran it for all those years. And my dad inherited it 2017. But so my dad done his own thing and went back to working for him and stuff. And they were working together. And he wound up just dropping dead at 63. Went to work one day, was dead the next. My dad had to wake up that morning and go he found them. He found them and
hold on, you kind of cutting out there, Jackson. I can't hear you, bro.
Lost his Wi-Fi.
Okay.
I'll go while he's paused. Someone in my neighborhood growing up, the mom passed away unexpectedly, and it was one of the sons and like a teenage daughter that still lived with her. But because she had life insurance, the family was able to pay off the house, and the dad moved back in, and he was able to take over the expenses because they were a lot cheaper now without any mortgage, and so the kids didn't have to move at all.
Man, come on, man. Like this is what we're helping our clients not go through or help, you know what I mean? Like it's big stuff. It is. And the more you know about what you're selling as in how it's going to affect your client, the more the statements of boldness will come out. It's hard to be bold when you don't have that real life or that real thing, you know what I mean, happening. And it's just kind of like, oh, well, you could. Oh, man, people actually do. So thank you for sharing, Scott. So our Thursday, all right, let's go through, man. We're going to spend the whole hour just talking about what folks heard about life insurance and stuff, all right, and how it's positively, effectively, and we're going to steal each other's stories.
Yep.
Dan's story is going to be my story after I learn it. Scott's story, my story is going to be Scott's. Like, that's how this works. And the more stories we exchange, the more equipped all of us are. My whole working I got a work story about a guy who worked in the state of Connecticut that was never my friend, but I feel like he was my friend because Sean told me the story so many damn times. And I'm like, dude, my friend who worked for it's like, damn. But stories sell, by the way, too. Information doesn't sell, stories sell. Stories teach, too. Stories sell and stories teach. So thank you for the time today, you guys. Hopefully this was helpful. It was kind of